Greetings, wrestling fans! Welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to be talking about the September 19th, 2022 edition of Monday Night Raw. This episode, I will admit, was average. It didn't feel very good, and I'm not biased like most people that are going to say, oh, it's like Triple H has been hitting the nail on the head ever since he took over. He has been producing better shows. I will say yes, he has been producing better shows. And other than the returns that he's been utilizing, I don't feel like the shows have really changed that much. They've definitely been better. They've definitely been more tolerable and more watchable and more able to get through, but I don't think they've been outstanding. But yes, they have been a lot better since Triple H has taken over, but not every single Raw and not every single SmackDown has been a home run for Mr. Triple H, and I've gone out of my way to say that a few times. So the show began with Bobby Lashley defending the United States Championship against Seth Rollins. The only problem with this is that we all knew how this matchup was going to end. Listen, I'm still not the biggest fan of Bobby Lashley, but he has been putting on better matches since his face turn. He has been putting on better matches. So, hey, you know, at least he's got that going for him now. At least he's actually putting on better matches this time. So, outside of that, still not a real big fan of him, but I've been enjoying his matches a bit more since his face turn. And also during this US Championship run. So anyway, this match was quite predictable. We all knew how this was going to end. This was going to end with Matt Riddle interfering and costing Seth Rollins the title, and that's exactly how it ended. We can go on about how good the match was, but in my opinion, I felt like the outcome was quite obvious. We had a Damage Control celebration. I would have much preferred Bayley-bration, but whatever. But anyway, we had a Damage Control celebration. Bayley came out in some kind of golf car. I looked at this as kind of a bit of a tease to Sasha Banks, because she's driven out on things before. Like, she's driven out in a car before. Like at Brooklyn and Great American Bash and WrestleMania. It's not really that big of a detail, but I did notice it. So, Bayley and all them were bragging, as always. Isn't it funny how the Women's Tag Team Championships have not been feeling important at all ever since Io Sky and Dakota Kai won them? People go on about how this is Dakota Kai's longest run with a title. How many times have she and Io defended those damn things? Ever since they won them, they've barely done anything with the Tag Team Championships. The Tag Team Championships are just a prop on their shoulder. That's all it is. It's just a little prop. They haven't defended them. And before you say, oh, there are no tag teams on the roster, there are tag teams. You got friggin' Nikki Ash and Doudrop. Well, that's only one team. You got Alexa Bliss and Asuka. You could pair friggin' Shotzi with somebody. You could pair Shotzi with somebody. You could pair bloody Xia Li with somebody. Hell, you've even got Toxic Attraction in NXT, for Christ's sake. You have people. I just think WWE are being lazy by giving Dakota and Io a reign that I can actually sink my teeth into. You can put the belts on them all you want, but if the title reign doesn't live up to the expectations, I'm not going to think highly of it. Right now, all the Women's Tag Team Championships are to Dakota and Io is just a little prop on their shoulder. That's really all it is. Bianca, Bliss, and Asuka all interfered. They all interrupted this. And it leads to a match between Alexa Bliss and Bayley in the main event spot. I didn't expect this to be the main event. I'll be honest with that. I did like Asuka, how she looked today. I thought she looked great. I guess Alexa looked alright too, but... And Bayley wasn't wrong when she mentioned Alexa's past. I kinda do miss the old Alexa Bliss, but... Evolution is important, so... That's all I'm gonna say. Kevin Owens went one-on-one with Austin Theory. A-Town Down. Mr. A-Town Down. His theme song should be called B-Town Down. What does the B stand for? Boring. Boring Town Down. Scream it out loud. Boring Town Down. I am not the future. Boring Town Down. Austin Theory is a bum. Ridiculous. I don't get how people find it. I don't know why people find this guy entertaining or even talented. I mean, don't get me wrong, he's got some nice moves, but there's just really nothing special about Austin Theory. Kevin Owens ended up getting the win with the pop-up powerbomb, and Mr. I Had a Bad Experience, Johnny Gargano, interfered and committed grand theft Money in the Bank on Austin Theory by stealing his briefcase. What a babyface! What a babyface thing to do! Steal someone's property. What a babyface thing to do, seriously. The most heelish thing that a babyface could ever do. Steal someone's hard work. Then we get the Brawling Brutes taking on the Street Profits in tag team action. This was an alright tag team match. Brawling Brutes got the win, as they should. They are the #1 contenders. But unfortunately, as much as I would love to see them become the next tag team champions, unfortunately, this whole damn company seems to have a goddamn boner for the Bloodline. It's definitely not going to happen. I've almost given up at this point of ever hoping that the Bloodline are going to lose any of their frickin' titles. Rey Mysterio and Matt Riddle teamed together to take on the Judgment Day. The Judgment Day really sunk in the crowd during their segment. You know, I've loved the Judgment Day so much better ever since Finn Balor took over as the leader. I couldn't care about the Judgment Day when Edge was the leader. But now that Finn Balor's taken over as the leader, I've just been enjoying it so much more. Finn Balor just makes me actually believe what they say. Unlike Edge, considering we know the history of Edge, who he barely ever puts over anybody, it's more like, oh, I'm just going to just beat everybody, not make the people I'm working with strong. At least Balor actually makes the people he works with actually looks good, even in defeat. Edge doesn't, at least in my opinion anyway. At least in my opinion anyway. But yeah, the Judgment Day got the win, as they should. They need to continue looking dominant, and I personally am enjoying it. I'm definitely liking the Judgment Day so much better as they are. Finn Balor also had a backstage confrontation with AJ Styles, pretty much setting up their next feud. And the Sheesh Man, Chad Gable, confronted Johnny Sheesh. I laughed at that, Johnny Sheesh. And we're going to be getting a tag team match next week between Alpha Academy, Johnny Sheesh, and Kevin Owens. Gee, I wonder who will be losing that tag team match. Sure as hope it's not going to be the Alpha Academy. Please. I swear, Triple H must not like the Alpha Academy for some reason. Like, they haven't won a match since being under Triple H. Dexter Lumis again tried to abduct The Miz, and I don't know what it is about this feud. It just might be because it's The Miz. I just don't really feel this feud. It is funny just to see The Miz always crap his pants every time he sees Dexter Lumis. But why do I have a funny feeling that The Miz is actually going to win the match when they do eventually face each other? It just gives me that bad feeling that when these two eventually wrestle each other, The Miz is just gonna win. I really want The Miz to actually elevate Dexter Lumis and make him, you know, look like a legitimate threat. But I can't see it. Maybe Indy Hartwell eventually gets involved. Me personally, I kind of want Indy Hartwell not really involved in this. Not because I don't want her to. It's because I would rather her be on her own. I'd rather her continue what she's doing. You know, she doesn't have to be with Dexter. She doesn't have to get involved with the whole thing with Dexter and The Miz. Indy and Maurice isn't exactly a dream match that I've ever wanted to see. If Maurice was at least in shape and could put on a solid match, then I'd be saying, yes, absolutely. But Maurice doesn't really do it for me anymore. She's not exactly in her prime shape anymore, so I don't really want to see Maurice really wrestle anymore, especially with Indy Hartwell carrying her. But yeah, I know that's something that I've heard fans want, but it's not something I want to see, Indy and Maurice. It's not something I really want to see. I just want Indy Hartwell to remain on her own, just as a singles competitor. And then finally, the main event was Bayley and Alexa Bliss. I don't want to sound mean here, but Alexa Bliss isn't as good as she used to be. Either it must be because she's a babyface and she's trying to work as a babyface, or she's just not as good as she used to be. Because the match was good. The match was good. And Alexa, I don't want you to ever try a Meteora ever again. That was such a really bad Meteora. Leave that to Sasha Banks, please. Only Sasha Banks can nail a good Meteora. Just saying, not trying to be mean. But, overall, Bayley got the win the same way she did on SmackDown. And I even predicted that's how it was going to end, the same way that happened on SmackDown, with Dakota and Io helping Bayley out, and that's what happened. Even with Bianca and Asuka there, Dakota and Io were still able to do their thing and help Bayley defeat Alexa Bliss. Then Damage Control would then beat down Bianca Belair, and Bayley would then challenge her at Extreme Rules. And we've also, and also before I wrap this review up, we've also got the return of Wargames at Survivor Series, which that is going to be very exciting. I'm very much looking forward to that. And we're also going to be getting the return of the Fight Pit match, because Seth Rollins and Matt Riddle are going to be having one. We've only seen 2 Fight Pit matches, and that was Timothy Thatcher against Tommaso Ciampa, and Timothy Thatcher versus Matt Riddle. But they're not going to acknowledge these matches because Timothy Thatcher is no longer in WWE. But hey, at least we got those match types back. And please add them to 2K23, please. Thank you! Please. Anyway, that's the end of this review. I hope you guys enjoyed. Hit that thumbs up. Give me your comments and opinions down below. And I will see you all next time.